Yeah, I'm ready. Hello, everyone. Hello. Here we are, ready to discuss some very serious, heavy duty, but hopefully changeable. But part of being a human being is a very complicated thing. So
Yeah.
this is Lori Doe. This is me, Veronica Entwistle, and we're going to bring in the guides, who we call Mirror Chris, in a while. Hi, Lori.
Hey, V. Just so our audience knows, we were just talking about something very interesting and a bit off our radar, which is mental
But
illness.
not off our rockers.
Mental illness, mental health, and the on incredible polarization that's going on right now. Incredible polarization. And V, do you want to talk a little bit about mental health, mental illness?
Well, there's several things. I don't want to get too far into it because our time will be up because it's a big subject. But the thing is we all know that we're scared right now. The world is absolutely tipping crazy. You don't know who to count on. And we know this from sexual abuse kind of situations. We don't know who's been hurt, who's been injured. But people become very, very at a deep level when you've had a lot of sexual abuse and nobody's hearing you. If you're afraid of the government and nobody's hearing you, or if you're afraid of and you feel defensive and all that, you're not well. Do you understand? And I'm watching people's energy fields go berserk with the kind of threats that are going on these days.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm really interested. You say you'd like us to see each other's point of view. But the thing is, the point of view is distorted very often by the amount of punishment we've had in our psyche, our subconscious, our mental health.
Hmm.
And that needs to be taken into consideration. We need to be in more nurturing species. Do you ever notice that?
Yeah, and I think really self-responsibility, and I've said this before on previous shows, there's a lot of taking responsibility for ourselves. I mean, sometimes we can't do that, and I understand because we're so far gone mentally. And many people listening, our audience, my own personal experience, V, you've had experiences, many people have, and probably more people than not, that when you get
Mhm.
caught in this trap of mental instability, it is incredibly difficult to
And I want to add one other
wait, wait,
thing
wait,
is a
wait.
word like,
Let me just finish. It's incredibly difficult to balance yourself
mhm,
and find the thing that's going to, like a sailboat, you're tipping over to upright you. And this is a big
mhm.
topic, and yes, so we can, but I think the bottom line, and V, I want to hear from you about this, is if I was to look at what's going on right now in the United States, in particular, because it's like a magnifying glass, or at the world at large,
Mhm.
there is a huge level of mental instability going on.
Oh,
Listen,
oh.
listen to what people are saying in positions of power and how they speak. Kash Patel is off his rocker. I just listened to
Mhm.
his argument uh, with oh, Congressman from California, wonderful man with a lot of integrity. But
Newsom?
no,
Newsom?
no, no, Congress.
Mhm.
So, anyways, yeah, so Cash is being questioned now about everything. Epstein, about the shooting. He's off his fucking rocker. His eyes are like, I mean, have you seen him? He's like saucers. His eyes are like this all the time. And this Nancy Mace, oh
Mhm.
my Lord. And I mean, we could go on and on, but and Trump, let's not forget him. And Marco Rubio looks absolutely sick. Something is wrong with him. He has become so cold and so detached. He something, yeah. So my point is we are in a serious mental health, mental illness condition, I think. And
Mhm.
please. what were you gonna say?
Well, you gave me an awful lot of material. I'm trying to dig out of it the most exciting. Um, there's something that first of all, I blame the media for a lot of that, but and the reason for that is because they jam the excitement of various situations and their interpretation. We don't realize um, what have we heard for years? Some of those poison things can be your attitude to someone
Right.
that can really distort people. And look what Trump is doing. He's sending out horrible comments on all kinds of people in a massive way. People are freaking out. They have a lot of attention from other people because of that. It's tearing them up. That's just a really simplistic thing, not talking
That's
about
right.
marriage breakdowns or terrible food, dietary things, or
Right,
who
right, right, right.
we're not talking about that, but mental health is a really big issue. And as I was telling you earlier, one of the fascinating things to me is the way, for example, if you've had sexual abuse, let's look around out there. Is there anything about sexual abuse going on? Yeah. I've always seen this and felt this since I became an intuitive, which was probably uh, 50 years ago now, but
Hmm.
I would feel it and be literally crippled by someone sitting in the room who had sexual abuse that was unaccounted for. And
Hmm.
the reason for that is because I'm an energy person trying to run this energy fields in my body, and most
Hmm.
of us aren't taught to do that. So when you have that, it can pull your thinking. You can take on even abusive reactions. You can take on feeling so sorry for yourself you can't function. And I
Hmm.
started to interrupt you a while back when you said taking responsibility for. But I think we have so much ignorance, we don't quite know what naivety. We don't know quite what to take responsibility for. And who am I responsible for? I'm responsible for me, but there's a whole lot of hooligans out there, and they scare me sometimes. So then what happens to me, so I'm trying to understand how not to victimize people, but to pull out the truth of if you're hanging out with a lot of people with sexual abuse, you might be a healer and you got to go in there and rip those fields out of your body mind, or you live out at least some of it. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yes,
And people
yes.
need to understand so they can stop blaming each other and we can get to
Hmm.
work on it. It's all about me. It is all about me.
Yeah, I think in particular, our conversation earlier before we came on the air too was about that sexual abuse survivors have a particular energetic frequency field that's sticky. It's
Exactly.
sticky and
And
it's
it's sticky.
it's
Mhm.
unique. As you said, it's a very unique energy field to work with. And yeah, I'm just acknowledging that has so much power behind it, you
I'm
know.
going to put in this other microphone. That's okay. Everybody won't mind. Here
Oh,
we
this
go.
one's pretty good.
Okay,
No?
I did it.
Oh, wow, that's different.
But it's very important that we all learn that because it helps to respect one another
Yeah.
in a different way. Not, oh, she is just really nuts, but okay, what's going on? And you can tell, for example, sexual abuse by the way people look and the way their fields run.
Hmm.
It's not rocket science until you don't
Yeah.
know it. And then it,
It's really an awful, awful thing, and it is epidemic
mhm,
in this patriarchal construct we are living in. The amount of abuse that women worldwide and girls experience is, I mean, it is
thousands
really,
of years old, though, Lori.
I'm sorry, what?
It's thousands of years old.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I just want to hug every single one of those women and all women who come forward and talk about themselves when, in terms of overcoming what they had to overcome through their sexual and physical abuse. But we're talking
Mhm,
sexual abuse, which is often physical.
mhm.
And I just want to hug every single one of them We've been doing a lot of work for, so our audience knows, we've been doing a lot of work with Virginia Geoffrey. We've channeled her several times. Last night, I was able to have a conversation with her that unraveled a piece of the puzzle for me. There's still a lot of questions about Virginia, her suicide, her unsigned will, which she changed several days before she died.
Mhm.
And V, you and I were talking about how people can, in particular, we're going to talk about her husband, who, because he was an abuser, um, how they
How long
can
was she married?
how they
Just
can
for a minute.
drive you into your own death and your suicide in order to get out. And she had been at this Epstein thing for 20 years. I mean, it really, I think this all just took a toll on her, but I do find it very odd. Her will was unsigned, and now there's a
Mhm.
huge battle going on for the money from Prince Andrew in her estate. Sorry,
But
V.
he's not fighting her, is he? No,
No,
Prince
no,
Andrew.
this is within this husband,
Mhm.
the abuser husband, and some of the kids. So
And are the kids being as abusive as the
I have
husband?
no idea. I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
So her book is coming out in a matter of 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be super interesting. And I'm also very curious about the proceeds from that book because it's a major publisher,
Mm-hmm.
where those
You're
proceeds
curious about where the profits are going to go and
as
whether there's
well. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
an issue of
yeah.
faith and mhm.
So you were asking a question. I'm sorry. Because this
I am too, but
this
I forget what it was.
conversation is so dynamic. I think we're both just trying to
And it's
get,
really, there isn't a question that's wrong, really. We have to find a way for me to understand her. I was writing some things recently, and I said we live in a world where the amniotic fluid is money,
yeah.
and we're all, and you're just explaining exactly what that is,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's very interesting to me, but that's actually a poison fluid if you think about it.
Hmm.
Unless we consider it more seriously. But anyway, I don't know what I was going to say, except that I'm very interested in us finding a way to pull up. Virginia would love it if we could pull our way out of being victimized and
Right.
find a power of self,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Do you
again,
want,
I remind you, it's very sticky. That
yeah,
kind of
no, it is.
very sticky. So we get it, we catch it.
So V, we've just got about 8 minutes left. Would you like to do something really quick with Miracris on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
We are here. We have been attentive to all of which you are speaking. We say to you, we remind all of you that one of the purposes of this time and this show is to raise people's consciousness. So, say that because of the political situation, people are very frightened. We'd love you to move through your body mind and lift your fields and frequency. And if you can, release the restraint from past abuses, because you will find if you can do that on a mass level, you can raise your whole, well, start with the city or your neighborhood out of the victim, not the victim consciousness as much as being held down by those in power. We want so much to teach humans to do that. You'll find many people can rise out of that confinement, the containment, and find their own way of feeling free, if not exalting the power of their transformation in this lifetime. Do you understand that?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, It's, it sounds impossible, but if you can notice in your body, if you can feel yourself choosing to raise your frequency when even if you had an abuser attacking you, this is a huge job for human beings. especially sensitive human beings. But if you could feel yourself raising your fields in frequency, you would find that that person can't abuse you. So that requires a lot of strength in your intuition, a lot of strength in your sensing, feeling, and your drive. And the other part that's very important is your permission to yourself. And we're saying that humans are being pushed to evolve. You've heard us say this a number of times. And the evolution requires taking charge of your innate drive. And your innate drive is not to be abused. Your innate drive is to express your unique self and to release some of the karmic things. And we say to release or at least get to your core of that, you'll find yourself again popping up and becoming much more powerful, even in a state of fracas, if there's a fracas around you. Do you understand this, Lori?
Hmm.
And this is more a goal.
Hmm.
Virginia would appreciate that as well. For her, we see her here, and her last desire is for you to be trapped by her fields. Do you understand that?
Right.
But
Hmm.
and she's chuckling because,
Hmm.
just as you did, because she's saying something like, we are so naive as a species. We don't
Hmm.
realize how we can empower ourselves. And she's literally smiling as if she's just finally going, I got it. I caught it.
Mm.
And that's what we want people at home to know, that this visitation that we're having is to teach everyone to raise your fields and frequency beyond someone else's emanations, someone else's radiances. You see
Hmm.
how different that is? Because a
Hmm.
lot of people are really happy and enjoying being all together, but they're all running the same um, radiances again. They're running the same fields. They pick up on each other's, and that can be really wonderful. But there's a way that you have to learn, or if you did learn to be in truth with your own, it will be amazingly healing for you and those around you.
Hmm.
That means you'll have to shake people off on a regular basis. Do you
Hmm.
understand that?
Yeah, and also, Mary Chris, it's really important I think the ultimate thing in this life is to come. I've always felt being conscious of the unconscious, Carl Jung, and also to find a place of real, authentic self-love. However, we can find that. There's many tools out there. Sometimes it can take 40 years.
In essence, that's what we're speaking of.
Hmm.
If you don't give yourself that incredible uh, truth of who you are, you
Hmm.
can't really fight back in the sense of becoming a part of the mob.
Yeah, yeah.
But many people are trying to or looking toward finding themselves these days.
Hmm.
And the rising consciousness is aiding that as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's been quite this past since the eclipse. There's been a huge deep dive for me personally, and I think for a lot of people, because we're between two eclipses energetically. And there's been a deep dive into our past, reviewing the past, reviewing our life. I don't know about other people, but the memories, floods of memories are coming in and reviewing and integrating now into the present with all that information as well. So, yeah. Anything else, Mary Chris? We're gonna run out of time here.
No, we would like to finalize our, you said it's a short time that we have, right? We'd like to finalize our time and say, if you take a scan around the world and see all the various human species beings that are well, they're not all rising, that are coming up from those times, it really helps to understand for humanity that they are responding to drives within. And many, many people don't want to live like that anymore. This is a movement of consciousness throughout your fields. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just to carry on in the same old way is not going to do it, which you already know. And we're saying, we see here that there's a reflection and waves of these changes coming from a lot of it from Asia right now,
Mm-hmm.
probably because of some of the great mystics. And not necessarily, but here's another. When I say that, I go, oh, it's interesting because the waves of energy and the vortices that move it and so on come from different parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And humanity is learning more and more of that. And there's some very powerful sweeps right now coming up from the Asian lands. You understand that? And
Mm-hmm.
if people could feel them, oh, I say to you, if you could just feel them, you can dance in them, you can feel them, and you can have them as your field of dreams. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And if enough people paid attention that way first and didn't get so stuck in the personal journey, they would find themselves